Today we'll be reading This First Thanksgiving Day, A Counting Story by Laura Krauss Melmed, illustrated by Mark Buehner. This book counts to 12, and let's start by counting to 12 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now that we've counted to 12 together, let me tell you something else that you'll experience in this book. This book has rhyming words on every page. Let's take a look at a few of the rhyming words you'll hear in this story. You'll hear the words tree and sea. Tree and sea are rhyming words because they sound the same at the end. You'll hear the words below, hello. Below, hello are rhyming words because they sound the same at the end. You'll hear the words roots, soup. Roots and soup are not quite rhyming words because they don't have the same sound at the end, but they do make a pretty sound when you read them together. You'll hear the words bay, today. Bay, today are rhyming words because they sound the same at the end. You'll hear the words roam, home. Roam and home are rhyming words because they sound the same on the end of the word. You'll hear the words hand, sand. Hand and sand are rhyming words because they sound the same at the end. You'll hear the words fill, spill. Fill, spill are rhyming words. You'll hear the words crew, stew. Crew and stew are rhyming words because they sound the same at the end of the word. You'll hear the words maze, days. Even when words are spelled differently, if their letters make the same sounds, that's what makes them rhyming words. Maze and days are rhyming words. You'll hear the words glow, low. Glow and low have the same sound at the end, so they rhyme. You'll hear the words sun, done. Sun and done rhyme with each other. And you'll hear more rhyming words on the last page of this story. This story is called The First Thanksgiving Day. In this video, I'll read the story 2 times. The first time as we go through, I'll ask you questions about Wampanoag Native Americans and Pilgrims that you see and hear about in the story. The second time that we read this story, I'll just let you hear the beautiful rhyming text. This is The First Thanksgiving Day, A Counting Story by Laura Krauss Melmed. That means that Laura is the author of this book. She wrote the words. It's illustrated by Mark Buehner. That means Mark illustrated the book, so he drew the pictures. This is the title page of the story. This First Thanksgiving Day, A Counting Story by Laura Krauss Melmed, illustrated by Mark Buehner. 1. Dressed in linen, sitting in a tree, dreaming of the tall, strong ship on which he crossed the sea. It's one what? One pilgrim boy. And while that pilgrim boy is dressed in linen sitting in a tree, 2 dressed in deerskin, gathering nuts below, giggling as they tiptoe by, too shy to say hello. 2 what? Those are 2 Wampanoag girls. Wampanoag was a Native American tribe that lived in Massachusetts near Plymouth Rock, where the Pilgrims landed when they came to America. 3 in the garden, pulling up some roots. Turnips for the pottage pot and parsnips for the soup. 3 what? 3 pilgrim children. They're working in the garden behind these houses that the Pilgrims built in straight rows. And these vegetables that they're pulling up are turnips and parsnips. They're root vegetables that grow under the ground. 4 helping father catch fish in the bay, some to dry for winter time and some to eat today. 4 what? 4 Wampanoag boys. Here's their father, and their father is teaching his 3 sons how to catch fish. Probably a herring that swim in the ocean near where the Wampanoag live in the area of Massachusetts. 5 in the forest, searching as they roam, finding sticks to light the fire that keeps them warm at home. 5 what? It's 5 little pilgrim children. They're picking up sticks out in the forest, and they're going to use those sticks to burn in their fireplace to cook their food and to keep their house warm. 6 stepping softly with small bows in hand, following a rabbit's tracks across a patch of sand. 6 of who? 6 Wampanoag children or boys. And they're carrying their bows and arrows, and they're following this rabbit that's hiding, or maybe this rabbit that's hiding, or that rabbit that's hiding, or that rabbit that's running away, or that rabbit that's running away. Why are they following the rabbit? What are they going to do if they catch it? 7 fetching water, run with pails to fill, then walk home with careful steps, so not a drop will spill. 7 of who? 7 pilgrim women or 7 pilgrim girls. They have to go to a river or to a lake or a pond to get their water to drink and take baths and cook. It looks like they've built a little trough that'll get water out of the river or pond for them, and then they can go to their trough and fill it up. And they're carrying it back into their village. 8 on the sandbar, working in a crew, digging for some tasty clams to make a steaming stew. 8 what? It's 8 Wampanoag people, and they're out by the ocean, and they're digging for a shellfish called clams. And they'll take the clams in their baskets back to their village, and then they can make food from the clams that they found. They can stew them and make them into a thick soup, or they can cook them in the fire and just eat the meat out of the shell. And there's the Mayflower that the Pilgrims rode over the ocean on. 9 in the cornfield, bringing in the maize, sowed with care as Squanto taught last spring on planting days. 9 what? Nine little pilgrims, either children or adults. And what did they say this plant is that they're harvesting? This plant is corn. The Native Americans called it maize. And one Native American named Squanto, who knew how to speak English, taught the Pilgrims how to plant this crop of corn so that it would grow well. 10, making baskets by the fire's glow, weaving slender cattail reeds while singing soft and low. 10 what? Ten Wampanoag women. And what does the text tell us that they're doing? They're weaving slender cattail reeds. Have you ever heard of a cattail? A cattail is a kind of thick grass that grows by the water. And the Wampanoag people picked that thick grass and let it dry out, and then wove those grasses into beautiful baskets to use to gather things and to trade with other people and to eat out of, and for many uses. 11, rejoicing in the autumn sun, laughing, shouting, playing tag, their chores at last all done. 11 what? "11 Pilgrim children." And now that they've finished all their chores of helping in the gardens and helping in the house and gathering sticks, now they get a time to play. And it says they're playing tag. Have you ever played tag like these little Pilgrim children are? It says they're rejoicing. It means they're very happy. 12 tables groaning beneath a harvest spread. Wampanoag and Pilgrim friends together will break bread. Joined under one sky with one prayer to say, a prayer of thanks for all they have this first Thanksgiving Day. So now the Pilgrims have invited the Wampanoag Native Americans to come into their village and share their harvest, because without the Wampanoag people, the Pilgrims wouldn't have known how to survive in this new place they came to. There's that rabbit that made it away. So now we're going to read it again, and I will just let you focus on listening to the beautiful rhyming text in this book, This First Thanksgiving Day, a counting story by Laura Krauss Melmed, illustrated by Mark Buehner. Before I do, though, let me just count with you, and then we will read the text. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now let's read the rhyming text in this book. 1, dressed in linen, sitting in a tree, dreaming of the tall, strong ship on which he crossed the sea. 2, dressed in deerskin, gathering nuts below, giggling as they tiptoe by, too shy to say hello. 3, in the garden, pulling up some roots, turnips for the pottage pot and parsnips for the soup. 4, helping father catch fish in the bay, some to dry for winter time and some to eat today. 5, in the forest, searching as they roam, finding sticks to light the fire that keeps them warm at home. 6, stepping softly with small bows in hand, following a rabbit's tracks across a patch of sand. 7, fetching water, run with pails to fill, then walk home with careful steps, so not a drop will spill. 8, on the sandbar, working in a crew, digging for some tasty clams to make a steaming stew. 9, in the cornfield, bringing in the maize, sowed with care, as Squanto taught last spring on planting days. 10, making baskets by the fire's glow, weaving slender cattail reeds while singing soft and low. 11, rejoicing in the autumn sun, laughing, shouting, playing, their chores at last all done. 12, tables groaning beneath a harvest spread, Wampanoag and Pilgrim friends together will break bread, joined under one sky with one prayer to say, a prayer of thanks for all they have this first Thanksgiving Day. I hope you enjoyed this story, This First Thanksgiving Day, a counting story by Laura Krauss Melmed, illustrated by Mark Buehner.